Are you a Sex and the City fan? And where does your loyalty lie? Team Big or Team Aidan?
Yes, I'm a fan. I was a fan before I met John. Which one was I?
There's an old running feud between our families.
Like the Hatfields and McCoys.
Something like that.
So let's, of course, start things off by talking about JL Family Ranch, The Wedding Gift. What was it about this project that you were like, I gotta do it?
I've known John Voight a long time. I think he's just the most wonderful man. This is John Voight's baby, this movie. And it was so much fun to watch him produce and get the best out of everybody in every department. And of course, he's a brilliant actor. So it was really fun, and my scenes are with him. So it was a real treat.
I like to call it like the trifecta of iconic actors. You've got Bo Derek, you've got James Caan, and you've got John Voight. So like you previously said, most of your scenes are, of course, with John. What is it like working with these, fellow esteemed actors?
Well, with John, it's very intimidating because, I don't work often. I get very rusty, and I just walked up to him right away and I said, make me good in this. Just whatever it takes. Kick me, smack me, whatever it takes. Yeah, don't let me get away with anything. And he laughed, and he was always so complimentary. So you walk off the set every day kind of puffed up and feeling good.
I have to tell you, a line in the movie that totally just like melted my heart into a million pieces.
No.
It feels like spaghetti in your gut. You're fans of you, of John Corbett. People just love the two of you together as a couple. What is it about him that makes you feel like you've got a little spaghetti in your gut?
It's that twinkle in his eye, his humor, he has a lot of joy in him, and I feed off of it. I just love it. And the simplest things can make him so happy. And so he makes my day brighter because of that too. And he's got a wicked sense of humor.
What has quarantine life on the ranch with you two? Like, what has that looked like, and how has it been?
Well, obviously a lot has changed. We're both here for an extended period of time. Normally we're ships passing in the night, and here's 3 weeks and here's a month, and then one of us has to leave. But this has been the most time we've ever spent together. But living out in the country, you wake up, you have your coffee, you feed the horses, you feed the dogs, you feed yourself, and you start this routine. So that part of it has kept us busy, occupied, and it's my favorite part. I work so that I can live here. And then, but I could tell at the beginning, I know I did it, and I think I saw it in John too, a conscious effort to get along. And maybe if there was something that wasn't going your way, not standing up for yourself this time, let it go. We don't. And it's been really good for us to learn these lessons. Don't forget also, if you're kind of famous, you go out and you work and people kiss your rear end all the time. And then you come home and your partner goes, that's not going to work anymore. I think we both have some of that when we first get home.
I love that. That's absolutely a couple keeping it real with each other. Nearly 20 years of seemingly very happily unmarried years between the two of you. Do you think living on the ranch away from Los Angeles has been somewhat of a contributing factor to being as, blissfully in love as you are?
Well, I know that it was a big gesture for John to move up here because he was definitely a nighttime guy and a city guy. And when he first came up to visit me, I remember him saying about 4 o'clock, what do you people do all day? And at night, 8 o'clock, well, don't you know how to have fun? It's so early kind of comments. And then slowly he just started spending more time up here. And now it takes a lot to get him to leave.
How many pairs of shoes does one person need?
That is not the way to get out of this alive.
I re-binged Sex and the City during quarantine.
You have?
Oh, of course. So I have to ask you the inevitable. Are you a Sex and the City fan? And where does your loyalty lie? Team Big or Team Aidan?
Yes, I'm a fan. I was a fan before I met John. Which one was I? I don't know if I think I was big for her, not for me, but for her.
Okay. What did you not like about Aidan?
I just didn't think he was right for her. I think he was right for a lot of women, but for her, I didn't think so. I think she made the right choice.
Do you ever think about what like a pop culture moment that was? Do you guys ever talk about that?
I don't know that we've ever talked about it, but yeah, it comes up. It's really interesting. It's so well written, really worthy of binging again. It's so creative. I loved it. I love both movies also. And I miss the girls. Don't you miss them? I'd like to know what they're going through now.
I just got to circle back to 20 years together. What is the secret?
I mean, you have to be in love, really deeply in love. We're such opposites in so many ways when we started out that we took this relationship one day at a time. And it just happens to be 19 years later, we're still together and we're going to go for one more day.
You know, after 20 years, a lot of people wonder, are they going to tie the knot? What is your answer to that? And how do you feel when you get asked that question?
I don't mind being asked because we're the abnormal people, and it's not really a conscious decision not to. It just doesn't. At our age, we're not going to have children. We're not building a new family together. That this is important to a family tree, and so it for us it would just be a piece of paper,
a formality.
Yeah.
It's been almost 41 years since the movie 10 graced our screens and made us fall in love with you, Bo. What do you remember about that experience?
Well, obviously it was life-changing for me. I wasn't an aspiring actress, so I was so unprepared for becoming famous overnight and having, being followed by paparazzi every place I went, and having, things written about you that not just aren't true. They got very personal and pretty nasty. But at the same time, when you're in a successful movie, it's like this magic global credit card. You can do almost anything you want to do. You can meet almost anyone you want to meet. And if you I kept reminding myself, okay, this is a pain, definitely, but look what I'm getting out of it, the positive.
Obviously, still a massive moment in pop culture today. You in your swimsuit with your braids running down the beach. Did you know in that moment when you were filming that scene that you would instantaneously be turned into a global phenomenon?
No. And if you were to read the script, I'm hardly in the movie. So I thought I was very lucky. I was getting a great trip to Mexico. And that's about all I expected of the movie. And the braids, that's become kind of controversial now. My mom worked for Aunt Margaret and was her hairdresser in Vegas. So Aunt Margaret's backup singer had these beautiful braids in her hair. And so I tried it. I thought it was really pretty. And Blake liked it for the movie, and I wore them in the movie. Now I get criticized as being, I forget the terms, they change every day, but culture vulture stands out. But I can tell you at the time, when I wore them, every place I went, African-American women came up to me and said, thank you. You've made this mainstream. You've made it acceptable. I can wear braids to my work now at the bank or wherever I want. So it's hard to imagine that a boss would come up to a woman now and say, you can't wear your hair that way. But only a short time ago they did. So that was my experience with the braids. I was just copying. And I wouldn't do it now because I think now it is hurtful to some people.
I did Bo Derek braids, and I'm really into it.
That's when you see someone like Kim Kardashian braid her hair and she calls
Right.
Bo Derek braids. What was your reaction to that?
She got in a lot of trouble for calling them the Bo braids. I think people are very sensitive right now. For 40 years, it hasn't been a problem. And I still get tagged on social media all the time. Hairdressers who specialize in these braids for African American women. I still get tagged all the time. Oh, I did the Bo Derek today, and they tag me. And but I think it's just, we're very sensitive right now. And I wouldn't want to do anything to hurt anyone's feelings. I think she's beautiful, and I understand what she was trying to do. I mean, we all have moments where we'll try to put on the hat that someone else wore that we admire.
In the age of reboots, Bo, could you see, or would you want to see 10 rebooted today?
I hope so. I really hope so. It's a great story. And I've heard some really fun ideas to bring it and make it contemporary. I know Rob Schneider was working on it for a while, and he would have been fantastic.
Would you make a cameo or an appearance, a little wink wink to the camera?
Of course.
Okay,
Of
good.
course, in a second. And at one point I was going to be the girl's mother, and then now I would have to be her grandmother.
I want to congratulate you on your documentary that recently came out. I think it's kind of like a Lifetime Achievement Award. It means that you've had this really multifaceted, incredible life with so many dynamic moments in it. What did that mean to you?
I thought everyone knew everything about me.
Mm-hmm.
But I was reminded by the producer that was a long time ago. But the Linda Evans part really knocked me down. For people who don't know, she was married to my husband, John Derek, when we got together. And it was very difficult, and it was a very emotional and in many ways sad time. And I've never heard Linda talk about it. She never did. She was always so private. And she's this incredibly fantastic woman. And so it was interesting that she decided to do it.
What did Linda's participation mean to you?
Completely caught me by surprise, her participation. And then to see her open up so much and be so honest in it, it made me cry. I think when she explained how painful it was for her, the breakup, and the fact that I was part of that, I'd never heard her side of the story. And I'll never forgive myself for being part of that. The breakup of that marriage, that doesn't mean I think about it every day, but I know I learned from it, and I would never do it again, and never have.
How do you get to a place where things were so contentious, and then you fast forward a couple decades, and now you and Linda are friends? How do you get to that place?
She made the move in the very beginning to remain friends with John and with me. And so I've always felt very blessed that she reached out and continued our friendship. It takes a very strong woman to do that, I think.
You sit here before me today and you just seem so happy at the place in life that you're at. Do you see yourself being in acting projects for the foreseeable future, or do you see yourself maybe taking a step back to focus on, other things that are important to you?
I have the best of both worlds now. I can go off and work and do fun projects like this John Voight movie, and go to work with James Caan. I have the best of both worlds right now.